China and Taiwan, the story of a confrontation that could change the world. Imagine a huge power with 1 billion people considers a small island part of its territory. And yet the island itself lives by its own laws, elects a president, builds its own army, and prepares for war every day. This isn't a movie plot. This is the story of the confrontation between China and Taiwan, a conflict that has lasted for over 70 years. Today we'll explore why China wants Taiwan back, how the island came to be separate, who could start a world war, and what will happen if patience runs out one day. Chapter 1. When Taiwan wasn't much of a need. Today, Taiwan seems like the most important island on the planet. But hundreds of years ago, it was an ordinary territory off the coast of China, covered in jungle and inhabited by indigenous tribes. Europeans arrived here in the 17th century. The Portuguese were the first to take an interest in the island. They named it Formosa, Beautiful Island. Then the Dutch arrived, built forts, and began trading. But Europe didn't manage to hold Taiwan for long. Soon, Chinese forces drove out the colonizers, and the island gradually became part of the Chinese world. For centuries, Taiwan was controlled by various Chinese dynasties. However, for mainland China, it remained a distant outskirts, important, but not central. And everything changed after one war. Chapter 2. China loses to Japan, late 19th century. The Chinese Empire seemed vast and powerful, but internally it was weak, corrupt, and technologically backward. Meanwhile, a new power was rapidly growing nearby Japan. In 1894, war broke out between China and Japan. Many thought China would easily win, but humiliation followed. The Japanese army proved modern and disciplined. China lost almost everything. After its defeat, China was forced to sign a harsh treaty. Under its terms, Taiwan was ceded to Japan. This was a true disgrace for the Chinese. Chapter 3. Taiwan becomes Japanese. For the next 50 years, Taiwan remained under Japanese rule. The Japanese built roads, railways, factories, and schools. The island rapidly modernized, but at the same time, a strict policy of control was in place. Residents were forced to learn Japanese. Many traditions were suppressed. People were taught to consider themselves part of the Japanese Empire. Meanwhile, chaos reigned in China itself. Chapter 4. The Fall of the Empire and the Birth of a New China. At the beginning of the 20th century, the Chinese Empire collapsed. The country was torn apart by revolutions, wars, famine, uprisings, power struggles. Different political forces emerged, but two emerged as dominant: the nationalists, the Kuomintang Party, the communists, led by Mao Zedong. They hated each other. This was the beginning of the conflict that would later divide China and Taiwan. Chapter 5. Civil War. After World War II, Japan lost and Taiwan was handed back to China. But China was already on the brink of another catastrophe. The communists and nationalists began a full-scale civil war. On one side was the Kuomintang Army. On the other, the Chinese Communist Party. The war was incredibly brutal. Entire cities were destroyed. Millions died from fighting, hunger, and disease. And gradually, the communists began to win. Chapter 6. Escape to Taiwan. The communists capture Beijing and declare the creation of a new state, the People's Republic of China. and the nationalist leader, Chiang Kai-shek, realizes the war is lost. He, along with the remnants of the army, officials, and a huge amount of gold, evacuates to Taiwan. About 2 million people move to the island. And here's where things get interesting, because both sides declared, "We are the real China." The communists in Beijing considered Taiwan a rebellious province, and the Taiwanese authorities claimed to be the legitimate government of all China. So there were two Chinas at once. Chapter 7. A World on the Brink of War. At the beginning of the Cold War, the situation became extremely dangerous. The United States feared the spread of communism, so America began supporting Taiwan. For Washington, the island became a kind of barrier against China and the USSR. China, meanwhile, dreamed of retaking Taiwan by force. Several times the situation almost escalated into a full-scale war. Chinese troops shelled islands near Taiwan. The American fleet entered the region. The world genuinely feared the outbreak of a nuclear conflict. Chapter 8. Dictatorship in Taiwan. Many people think Taiwan has always been democratic, but this is not true. After fleeing to the island, the authorities declared martial law. Anyone suspected of communist sympathies could be arrested. Censorship was in place. This period was later called the White Terror. Thousands of people were sent to prison. But at the same time, Taiwan began to develop rapidly. Chapter 9. Economic Miracle. 1960s-1980s. While mainland China suffered from poverty and disastrous experiments like the Great Leap Forward, Taiwan was transforming into an industrial power. The island relied on technology, manufacturing, education, exports, and it worked. Taiwan became one of the Asian Tigers countries with incredible economic growth. Factories, companies, and new technologies emerged. It was then that the foundations of the future tech giant were laid. Chapter 10. China is changing. After the death of Mao Zedong, China began reforms. The new leader, Deng Xiaoping, realized that if the country did not change, it would remain poor forever. China opened up its economy, began building factories, attracting foreign investment, and gradually it became the factory of the world. But Beijing never abandoned the idea of reclaiming Taiwan. Chapter 11. Taiwan becoming a democracy. Taiwan underwent enormous changes at the end of the 20th century. Martial law was lifted. Free elections were established. Opposition parties were given the right to participate in politics. The island gradually transformed into a full-fledged democracy. And then a new problem arose. Many Taiwanese began to feel not Chinese, but Taiwanese. For Beijing, this was a nightmare, because the stronger Taiwan's separate identity, the harder it is to reclaim it. Chapter 12. The most important island on Earth. Today, Taiwan is more than just an island. It is the center of the global tech industry, especially thanks to TSMC. It produces the most advanced microchips on the planet. Without these chips, the following cannot function: smartphones, video cards, cars, rockets, supercomputers, artificial intelligence. If Taiwan halts production for even a few months, the global market could descend into chaos. That is why the whole world is watching this conflict. Chapter 13. Why China won't abandon Taiwan. For China, the Taiwan issue is more than just politics. It is a matter of national pride, a symbol of the end of the Civil War, a show of force, control over a vital region. Chinese authorities believe that if Taiwan officially declares independence, it will be a red line, and Beijing constantly repeats, a forceful scenario is possible. Chapter 14. How China is preparing. In recent years, China has dramatically strengthened its military, especially Navy, missiles, Air Force. Military exercises around Taiwan have become almost constant. Chinese aircraft regularly approach the island's airspace. Warships patrol the region. This is simultaneously pressure, a show of force, and a test of Taiwan and the U.S. reaction. Chapter 15. What will happen if war breaks out? Many experts believe that a war for Taiwan will be one of the most terrifying in modern history. Why? Because China is a huge nuclear power. The U.S. will likely intervene. Japan may support America. The global economy will be under attack. Taiwan is also a very difficult target. The island is protected by sea, mountains, and a modern army. A landing could cost China enormous losses. Chapter 16. Information warfare. The confrontation is not only fought with weapons. China actively uses cyber attacks, economic pressure, propaganda, diplomatic isolation of Taiwan. Many countries do not officially recognize Taiwan precisely because of pressure from Beijing, because China is too important a trading partner. Chapter 17. Taiwan today. Modern Taiwan is a combination of high technology, democracy, the constant fear of war. For local residents, tension has become part of everyday life. They go to work, study, relax, and at the same time, they understand that one day the situation could change dramatically. Finale. Why this conflict matters to the whole world. The history of China and Taiwan is not just a dispute over an island. It is a clash of past and future. Communism and democracy, a huge power and a small but rich island, strength and independence.